do not know where this trail is going to go. I think it goes over the mountain. So we got filled up with gas, and never been on this trail before, but we're going to see how it goes. Got the WR250R again. We got just over 3,000 miles on it now. It's running great. Getting better at dirt biking and riding this motorcycle. Also, this is like the, I don't know, 2,000 mile review for the seat concept seat. It's so comfortable that I hardly even think about sitting over the past 2,000 miles, which is funny because the stock seat was so painful that I could hardly even ride more than 100 miles without getting in pain. So I have forgotten about the stock, or forgotten about the seat concept seat because it's so comfortable. Kind of weird riding without my glove on this hand because of operating the camera. These grips are actually really comfortable. I always wear gloves, even if I'm commuting or whatever, or just jogging around. I do not wear gloves, hardly ever. Just because if you go, you know, if you go hand clamp or whatever the hell they call it, you're going to rip your hands up. So pretty important. Also, riding gear requirements for the military requires that you have gloves, eye protection, and ankle boots that cover the ankle on, at least when you're on base. I'm not really trying to go crazy today at all. Really just kind of want to get out here and just enjoy the trail, enjoy the motorcycle, enjoy riding, just basically getting out of downtown San Diego rat race. This is just really nice to do. Maybe stop, you know, check out the scenery. But yeah, this is why I bought this bike. It's to get out into nature, enjoy God's amazingness out here, and do it safely. This is a nice trail. It's beautiful scenery. It's probably about, I don't know, 85 degrees out here. I got my motorcycle jacket on, which is a little bit hot. Got all the vents open on it, so it's still fine. But that would have been fun with some speed. But hey, out here, if you crash, you injure yourself. You're the only person out here, so I don't really want to end up hurting myself out here, because I'll ultimately end up in a more painful situation because there'll be no one out here to help me. So try not to cause your own problems. At the same time, if you do cause your own problem, you are going to have to fix it yourself, because there probably won't be another person riding out here for a while. Yeah, I haven't made any YouTube videos in a while because I've been extremely busy. A bunch of bullshit at work, which has kind of bogged me down with time and energy. Which is probably makes it even more important that I'm actually out here getting some self-care in, you know, getting out here and enjoying something that I want to do, something that I like to do. Because you have to take time for yourself. You have to make sure that you're taken care of before you can help anyone else. Otherwise, you'll just end up in a flipping nightmare. Looks like there's been some activity up here, like construction equipment. Got my mirrors folded in. I'm just putzing here. I'm not trying to do anything crazy. I really want to not end up in trouble. I forgot what this trail's called. Bear something? Bear Valley or something? Bear Valley Trail? Whatever. I'll figure it out before I post this. I'll put it on there. But I remember there were some people that they took some four-wheelers across it. They said it got a little bit tricky, especially on the east side of the mountain. A couple people I ran into last time. They had two bikes and a quad. So I'm trying to conserve my energy because I don't know when I'm going to need it next. Especially when we start going over the mountain, which I think this goes over the mountain. Looks like a fan is kicked in. Got some loose sand here. Dust, loose dust here. That's not too bad. I've not been out here to Coralle Canyon off OHV, off highway vehicle park in about a month, I'd say at least. I really have been just going to Otay Mountain. But every time I've come out here, I've always gotten into a situation that's always tested my limits. So my goal today is to keep calm and try to stay within my comfort zone. I do not lower my tire pressure. I have the tire pressure on these, let's try this way. I have the tire pressure on this pumped up to the max for the highway so as to minimize wear on the tires, because low pressure on a motorcycle tire will end up to faster and excessive wear, and that leads to you having to go buy new tires. So my thing is, if it's going to be a little bit more painful on dirt and less traction, then I know when I need to turn around, because I could be getting in too deep to get out of myself. So I'm going to leave these tires at a more or less suitable pressure for off-road. Kind of prevents my dumbass factor from causing myself problems, because you'll understand what I mean if you ever get into those situations where you're like, oh, my dumbass put me in this situation. Now my dumbass has to get out of it. So if I keep my tires at a higher pressure, I'll have less traction. It's going to make it actually harder for me to go up and get into situations that I can't get out of. So I'm protecting myself from being a dumbass, which I am 31 years old, and that still happens on a regular basis. So I doubt that's probably going to ever end. So that is what I have to look forward to in life, is continually screwing up and causing problems until the day I die. And unfortunately, if you can understand that, you'll probably have a better grasp on life at an earlier age, and thus don't end up with your entire life and career in the shitter when you are turning 31 years old. So I am going to stop this video here because it's a long video, and then I'll splice it to the next video. I hope you appreciate this rant about life, maybe. I might advertise this as 3,000 mile seat concepts, seat review, 4,500 mile review of the WR250R, 3,500 mile review, and tidbits of life about life and trying not to screw your own life up. I.e., the front tire just floated a little right there, so that was kind of stupid for me to do that right then. I could have biffed it right then. Now, some people probably have more skills than me, a lot of people do, and they'd be like, you didn't even biff it at all. I felt like I was about 10% going to biff it. So if I felt I was 10% going to biff it, that is over my threshold for biffing. I do not feel comfortable with that factor of unsafety, especially since I'm out here in the middle of nowhere by myself, where I could bust the shit out of this bicycle and my body, and then I could end up in a whole shitter world of shit, pain, with no help to get out. So I think right now I'm probably riding with my least factor of tolerance for doing stupid shit and causing problems for myself. Hence why I am going like 5 miles an hour. So I will pause this video here and then start up a new one. And I recently did purchase 3 extra batteries for the GoPro, as well as a 64 gigabyte SD card, so probably could get hours and hours and hours of ranting while ranting about life lessons and finding neutral and trying to avoid the problems of life via driving down this dirt road in the middle of nowhere. So one thing about life that is important is that people do have free will. So you could turn this off anytime you want. You could go watch a different video. I don't know what's down that trail. You could watch a different video about something completely different if you wanted to. That is the free will that we have and possess as human beings. Looks like we got a truck up here. Let's see if this is even still recording. I am going to probably pause this here, just so we don't end up losing some of this rant, because who knows, it could be good. Okay. He is waving me on forward. I'm gonna give him gonna give him a hand signal and keep on going. I think this is like 8 miles or something like that. I don't know why I'm thinking 8 miles. I filled up with gas at the Pine Valley gas station to the tune of, I don't know, $4.5 a gallon. Before coming out here, so I got like 2 gallons of that in the tank, and then I got an extra gallon on my Rotopax tank. So I think probably could do at least 120 miles conservatively on trails like this, especially if you're not revving the engine. like crazy, because then your gas mileage just goes to shit. And it's one of those things where slow and steady actually is, you know, more efficient. I'm on my feet right now because it's a little bit, I don't know why I'm on my feet. Another little, this is a pretty fun trail. I think this turns into a two-track if I'm not mistaken. Or not two-track, single track. Single track trail as it goes over the mountain. Oh, okay. That was a little emotionally exaggerated, I would say. But, you know, this is just a nice conservative riding. Very much makes you appreciate freedom. Being out in the middle of this area. Absolutely beautiful. So I think when you're young, you just appreciate motorcycles because they go fast and they make noises and they're fun. When you get older, you start appreciating other aspects of it, such as the beauty of God's natural environment, as well as the tranquility of being away from society and just looking at everything, having your free time to yourself to think and ponder life's great annoyances and problems that get flung at you to kind of throw you off from your center point. You know, let's maybe call that finding the neutral point of life, where you are balanced. And that life sometimes pushes you out of that point where you can naturally reset, so therefore you have to start taking time out for yourself, doing hobbies, relaxation, self-care, to get you back to a point where you can start, I don't know, healing again. Because pathology happens when the natural compensatory mechanisms of your body, such as with overuse injury, let's say, of a knee causing inflammation and telling you to stop. But also pathology happens when you end up with situations that push your natural psychological compensatory mechanisms to the limit. At that point, you need to find a way to get away from things, relax, meditate, yoga, pray, to get to a point where your natural psychiatric or psychological healing mechanisms can take full effect, such as a day out in nature on the trail, revving an engine, just to emphasize that sometimes life gets a little over revved, out of control, and at that point your motorcycle may be on the ground with the throttle wide open, revving until the engine blows, at which you need to crawl over to it and flick the kill switch, preventing complete destruction of your motorcycle. And I have been there before with that same exact situation. And if you do not know when you need to turn that kill switch off, when that happens someday, you will know. And that's just, I think, part of this, where, you know, getting back to and finding neutral is thus so important. maybe some things aren't, maybe people don't like driving dirt bikes. Then, for example, another thing I do is scuba dive, and I've recently got back into that. But I will admit to you that I am a dumbass, because I bought a dry suit like 3 years ago, and I am a dumbass because I bought 2 warm of the undergarment pajamas that go on underneath the dry suit. So it was actually too warm and too uncomfortable for me to even enjoy the dry suit. So I'm like, Michael, you are a dumbass. Why did you do this? You know the problem. You bought this suit that was like over $2,000, and you spent money on things, on the undergarments that weren't working, and now you are losing out on time because, and enjoyment, relaxation, because you won't go out and buy a thinner undergarment. So I did. It was like less than $100, bought a thinner undergarment, and went to La Jolla Cove and used my dry suit, and it was the most comfortable scuba diving I've ever done in my life. But what prevented me from doing that is that I was a dumbass and I purchased the wrong equipment, and all it required was purchasing $100 more worth of equipment to end up finding that I really like this hobby, scuba diving, more than I have ever even imagined since I started diving back in 2006. I don't know if there's a lesson to that, but I'm saying maybe the lesson is that you should spend money now versus spend money on therapy later. So if you have a hobby that keeps you sane, such as scuba diving or riding motorcycles, maybe it's important to spend some money on that, maybe splurge a little bit, versus end up with your life in the shitter years down the road because all your hobbies you had lost, and at that point pretty much your life turned into work. And all work makes Jack a dull boy, as you can see from The Shining, where that man went crazy. So the moral of this lesson is, who gives about it? Delayed gratification isn't always what it's cracked up to be, especially if in the end you're cracked up. You need to take time for self-care, for your hobbies, for vacations, for time to just read a book in silence away from everyone else. Otherwise, life can become unmanageable. Goes back to the whole biting off how much you can chew principle, where sometimes it is actually not the best thing to shoot for the stars and excel, but more of a climb up until you reach a ledge and stay there for a little bit until you become rested, and then try to climb again. Such as, don't shoot to become the boss, move up incrementally until you become the boss, if that is what your goal actually is. And sometimes being the boss is not necessarily the best. It isn't. Because, look at burnout rates. Now, I do not know where I am at here. This is interesting. It looks like this is a helicopter pad. A helicopter pad out here. I do have my GPS, so I know I'm not lost. Ooh! This is a helicopter pad. Something out here. I am going to pause this right here. I don't see my lights here. Okay, there we are. Pausing. So I think this started up again. I'm gonna slowly work my way down this hill. Just gently. You're not gonna see any aggressive riding out of me today. Seeing as probably no one knows I'm out here, and no one I know has a truck to come out here to help me, I probably shouldn't get myself in trouble. I know where we're at because I've been on that trail over there before. So we are coming in the right direction to Coralle Canyon off-highway vehicle paradise. I think we might actually just be running right up over there. A little sand, feel a little floaty. I'm gonna sit back, put some more weight on my tire, in the rear tire, take it off the front. I'd like to talk a little bit about the art of procrastination. So I am 31 years old, and I have recently discovered the art of procrastination, because I never, ever procrastinated in my life, and now I'm wondering, little nice little drop off there. I'm wondering why I had never had procrastinated before. Like, I have just actually taken some projects that I have and just put them on the back burner because they don't matter, and I don't feel at all ashamed of that. I feel like procrastination is a tool that helps preserve your willpower. Prioritization. There's a Franklin Covey course on, it's like 5 steps to extraordinary productivity. Procrastination isn't really included in that, but there are some stuff that is basically a category of work that is basically worthless and not needed to be done. That is the procrastination category. That is something that I've recently discovered. Okay, so I have been here before, just on a different side of the fence. So I'm going to turn around. I hope I don't do this. Rear tire's spinning out a little bit. Whoa. Well, hey, I know where that's at now. Yeah, it's really nice procrastination. Just put shit on that list, don't even take it off. You got other bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry is one of my favorite things. Maybe I'm getting a little bit ballsy here. For me, I would say that's a little bit ballsy. Okay, so this is the Kernan cycle trail from, I think, Bear Valley to Kernan cycle trail. So I'm pretty sure this is that 2-track that those people took, or I mean single track, 2-track to single track, that those people took last time I was at. So here's the one thing: when you put your bike in it going like this, you want to put your bike leaning towards the inside of the hill, so that if you fall on your bike and then your bike falls to the inside of the hill. Does that make any sense, what I just said right there? Because if this slips out, okay, so I'm going to lean my bike into the hill, and then I'm going to keep on the inside of the turn. Therefore, if my bike slips, it falls to the hill, and then I fall on top of my bike, versus the other way around, which would lead to me having a bike falling on me, pinning me down, potentially breaking my bones in the middle of flipping nowhere, which would be possibly one of the worser outcomes that you could imagine, or one of the worst outcomes that you could ask for from your Magic 8 Ball. So there actually is a really good primer out there on off-road motorcycle riding. It's, I think, how to ride a large stroke or large motorcycle off-road. Very good. I think it's 117 pages. There's an updated version from 2017. That's where I learned that trick from. So you do some reading and then you go out on the trail. And pretty much now, my thing is more on just doing this safely so that I don't cause problems. Because I realize that I can get myself into problems out here where there is no one to help me, especially if I am bleeding. So, trying to increase the safety factor of riding while still having fun. Like, I should have my left hand gloved right now just in case I dip it, because I could end up with a cut up hand if I ended up taking a shit. And by taking a shit, I mean falling on my ass or my face with a motorcycle tipped on top of me that weighs like 3 times as much as I do. Again, I'm leaning in, I'm on top of the bike like that. There's a lot of things that I've realized that I was doing stupid and unsafe. Oh, okay. I feel like sometimes people strap a GoPro to their head and then they get balls of titanium, and then they do stupid shit, which is pretty funny for the rest of us, but for the person, me, I think that's kind of like the worst outcome. I always think it's interesting though that after those horrible accidents from those people that do strap that GoPro to their head and do something dumb because of their digital courage, that they always end up posting those videos. Like, they have to be like, oh man, this is so embarrassing, but this is actually so cool, I need to publish it. And they do, they publish it, showing everyone else that they are an idiot, and hopefully some people learn from their mistakes. I have to give them kudos for actually socking up the embarrassment and putting that shit out there on the internet for everyone to see. A lot of people wouldn't do that. They would try to save their own face and blah blah blah, but they're like, hell man, no, this is so messed up and so embarrassing that the world needs to see. So we got a divvy. I'm gonna take this route. I do not know what that was. Okay, we're getting some ruts. You're getting impaled by that stick. Okay. Some dust. One thing I gotta get used to, that's hard to get used to, is sand. And trying to get to that right speed where your front tire kind of acts almost like a, I don't know, I'm thinking like a ski, and it floats versus digs, but you have to be going at a certain type of speed, so you have to go fast to be comfortable. If you slow down, it'll start plowing in, and then it's just very uncomfortable because you have to maintain speed to be safe, and that is just a uncomfortable thought, especially if you're going to have an accident. But I usually shift my weight back a little bit, and I haven't really mastered it. I was out to El Castillo Wells, which I had to actually turn around because it was all sand and I couldn't actually do anything with it. It was actually becoming more, it was too difficult to even ride out there way above my pay grade, and if I would have diffed my bike out there, I was hundreds of miles away from downtown San Diego. So if I would have, like, you know, biffed it, cracked the radiator or whatever, I could end up in a shitstorm, because I would be out in the middle of the desert with no water, in the middle of nowhere, with like no cell service, just totally at the mercy of the coyotes out there. Coyotes and the snakes. A little floating there. Okay, so this is a pretty fun change, little train change here. Let's see, oh yeah, don't even know where it's going. One of the first times I came out here, I had to turn around because I was about to do something stupid. I was about to drive this thing up this like rock face, and it probably would have landed on me, and you know, probably would have broke my leg or something, or my head. I don't know. It probably would have broken something, because what I was doing was what you could say is dumb. And oh my lord, this trail. And then another thing is, driving like a jackass out here, if I end up with a tire chipped off, or it gets slashed by a rock, my backup is a bunch of zip ties, which I carry in my water hydration pack. And I'm calling it a water hydration pack because camelbacks are such a ripoff nowadays. You can buy a really nice water hydration pack that rivals any camelback for like $15 compared to like $100 for a camelback. Never buy a camelback. They are such a waste of money. Such a waste of money. Kernan Cycle Trail. That might be the opposite end. I don't even know where we're going right now. But I had a feeling that we might have to cut this short, because if I get stuck out here, I might need enough battery and flash drive to, you know, record my last rites, you know, my will, last testimony, etc., so that the next dirt biker that finds my snake-eaten corpse can give that to my family, telling them that, I don't know, that I died. And speaking of being the dumbass, I have just realized that I did not even fasten the buckle on my helmet at the gas station, because I was messing around with other stuff that I lost my train of thinking to actually fasten my helmet on. So this helmet right now is merely a facade of safety. All I need is one good whack from the bottom and my head is unprotected. My lord. Oh, I'm gonna pause this here to then start up a new video. I found that the GoPro is a little bit more reliable like that. And then I'm also gonna fasten my helmet right now, so that if I do need my helmet, it actually is there to protect me in case of an accident. pausing. Okay, back again, helmets fastened, ready for an accident, and I would just like to say that the essence of an accident is that it's unplanned. Now, me coming out here and putting myself in a dangerous situation and then getting in trouble, I would probably call it an accident. Oh, I had an accident. That's really not an accident, because this is inherently risky and stupid. So pretty much it would said I had a lapse of judgment or something like that, because that would be like when Axel Hodges just crashed after his attempt to practice for the world's longest dirt bike jump. That was not an accident. That would be like, okay, I'm gonna try something that's really risky, and then when the risk actually eventualizes, then being like, oh yeah, it was an accident. It's not an accident. That's called, I don't know, something of accountability for judgment, accountability for your decisions that you made to put yourself in that certain scenario that led to actualization of the risks that you had predetermined to be risky, and then determined them to be acceptable, and that you still did it. I don't know, there should be a different word for doing shit like this. If you think of a word that would make that better, like as that actualization of stupidity or actualization of risk that you took voluntarily, or the consequences that you took voluntarily, I would very much like to hear from you on that, because I think that's what people should start doing, especially when they're doing stupid shit, like diving with sharks, you know, in like a shark tank or something like that, or I don't know, lighting the hair on fire, you know. Oh, I had an accident that I lit my hair on fire. It just doesn't work like that. It's not an accident. This is absolutely beautiful out here. I don't know how many miles. We've put about 11 miles so far on this trail. And use some rear brake here. That's one thing I've learned a lot lately, is to use the rear brake and use the engine to guide my way down the hill. And then also it's like having the engine, you know, the drivetrain ready to go at a moment's notice to be able to accelerate really can help. So there's no slack. It takes up that slack, so when you really need it, you got like instantaneous power to the ground. Okay, this is gonna go right through here slowly because that looks a little sandy. Oh, yep. I might be getting a little ballsy here. Yep, I'm feeling it. Feeling a little ballsy. Yep. Now here's what's funny is I've actually been using this bike as my commuter vehicle for the past couple months now, because my Yamaha X-Max 2018 has completely died on me because the engine blew up. I think it's a manufacturer's, like, it's a manufacturer's problem, definitely. Could be a recall situation, which I did report to the National Highway Transit Safety, NHTSA or NHSTA, whatever it is. Because yeah, I almost got ran over by a truck when the motorcycle blew up and malfunctioned. So I had not been using that scooter, which is insane because I paid $7,300 for it, and it's been in the shop like a quarter to a third of the time I've owned it, because it has not been working right. I think that's, the Yamaha hasn't been covering it. So this has been my actual primary vehicle that I've been using for commuting, which has been interesting, using a dirt bike to commute to work. But in a way, it's helped me a lot because I've gotten used to it. Man, this is a really hot day out here. I'm trying to avoid having to edit any of these videos because it takes a lot of time. So anything I say, I'm accepting that it's going to be in the final edited version. Ooh, that was something that could have probably fucking screwed me up. Such as swear words. I'm trying to avoid saying anything that I need to change or edit out. So I'm probably just not going to edit anything out. Like, am I even going in the right direction right now? That is a question that I will not be able to answer until I get to the destination. And even at that point, I will not know. Then I'm leaning in, leaning in on top of the bike, so if the bike falls on me, or if it falls on the ground, then I fall on the bike, not the other way around. Which I have seen this happen with a Harley rider who ended up with, I think it was their tibia, or their fibula, pushed through their skin, broken and pushed through the skin of their lower leg, because the bike fell on them versus the other way around of them falling on the bike. It's a big difference. What is this here? This looks like it could be a little... Oh, there's a road. So now I don't even know where we are at. This will go this route. Downshifted. I guess at this point I'm going to cut this video because I technically do not know even where I am at. Wait a minute. Maybe we are in the right place. Is it going over my shoulder? Okay, what are we doing here? We got a road on a mountain. When we finally get back to some semblance of a road, I'm going to kill this video, because then we will have found out where we are going. And what is this? I've got a feeling it's going to be another one of those trails that is closed off. But yeah, commuting on this bike, I feel is a nice advantage to a dual sport, because not only are you getting trail riding experience, you're getting on-road experience, which helps you with on-road. So the off-road helps the on-road. Like, this is becoming second nature here. Like, when I first was riding this thing, I was like so tense. Now I'm loose. Like, you deal with this in traffic, you sit on it, you have to sit on it at stinking intersections, deal with that shit, and then you get out here, and here it's funny because you get, like, let's say you get used to the rear wheel kicking out on dirt, rear wheel kicking out, spinning out on dirt. That hardly ever happens on the pavement. And then when it happens on the pavement, you're like, oh hey, guess what, I already know about this shit, because I've already done this hundreds of times on the dirt. So that's one of the benefits I would like to say of a dual sport, is that you get to intimately know how a motorcycle functions, both on the dirt and on the road. Where the hell is this thing going? Ugh. I would probably say a dual sport would be one of the best first bikes to get, because if you go anywhere, you're not going to be missing out, being like, oh, I wish I could take this off-road. Oh wait, I can. Or yeah, guess what, you can take it on-road too. I really feel that a dual sport would be one of the best bikes, first bikes for any motorcyclist. As it is a Swiss Army knife of motorcycles. And I think I am back to the same freaking position that I came from. How the hell did that happen? My flippin' lord. Okay. Oh, well, I appreciate you listening to me on this. I guess this is kind of weird that I'm back to the beginning of the Kernan cycle trail. So it looks like I need to go back out there and try to find out what I did wrong. I think I need to take a right when I took a left. Maybe I'll have to look back at this footage, because I definitely don't have my GPS on. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments, put them down. I hope you appreciated the rant. If you didn't, let me know. If you did, let me know. If you want to talk about something, if you want me to rant about something, let me know. I'm gonna break my own rule right now, and I'm gonna take my glove off my right hand because it's really hot out of here, and I'm gonna hook that right there, so that, and this is printer ink, by the way. This isn't blood. I have to refill my my printer. I have a refillable ink system, which is awesome. If you ever want to talk about that, it saved me hundreds of dollars doing that. Okay, thank you for everything. Appreciate it. Have a nice one.